Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is an update on the current Tamava Water Treatment Plant service delivery disruption. From yesterday morning, we've been having production issues at Tamava Water Treatment Plant caused by high turbidity. And unfortunately, late into yesterday evening, while we were carrying out our recovery works, turbidity levels at our Waimanu raw water intake increased from 17.71 NTU into the upper limits of 500 NTU. This significantly impacted our ability to restore reservoir levels at Tamava Water Treatment Plant from late yesterday evening into the early hours of this morning. We essentially peaked at around 1.8 meters and 1.6 meters at the Tamava Water Treatment Plant reservoirs. This morning during the reverse operations, we opened up the system to provide supply, some form of supply to customers living in lower lying areas. However, our customers in the elevated areas, starting from Ndokane Suva, Dole Suva, the Upper Tadiro area, Princess Road, Namandi, Mid Road, and up Samambula and parts of Waimanu Road, are still being affected by the low levels encountered at the Tamava Water Treatment Plant. Our team is currently closely monitoring the raw water turbidity levels, and we will increase production as and when the turbidity levels allow us. I do sincerely apologize for the service disruption midweek. I know it is of great inconvenience to a lot of us, especially those going to work, businesses and schools, but please be rest assured that our team at Water Authority Fiji is working around the clock to restore reservoir levels and resume service delivery to each and every one of your household. Panaka. So at this point, as I had mentioned, the turbidity levels at our raw water intake is still extremely high, and the normalization of our production at Tamava Water Treatment Plant is highly dependent on these turbidity levels dropping down to manageable levels. So at the moment we're closely monitoring. I cannot give an exact time frame as of now, but we would be in a better position later this afternoon into this evening to determine when water supply would most likely be normalized to customers. So there would be some discoloration to the water supply that some might receive, and this is attributed to the fact that our reservoir levels are low and there's disturbance of the pipeline. So there's movements with some silt that might be within the system. The advice is to boil all water that you get through your taps for the time being. Our teams are also out there carrying out flushing works to remove these aesthetic, colored waters that some customers might be receiving at this time. Manaka, that's a really good question. With respect to elevated areas, water supply is highly dependent on pressure and hydraulics. When a system is normalized, water supply normally tends to start with those in lower lying areas. So when you normalize flow into a network, water supply will go downstream first, and once those at the lying areas services are restored, then the pressures would gradually build up to the elevated areas. That is why it takes time for elevated areas to get supply. And in the case of Tamava, customers living up in Namandi, Law Street, Goodram, Upper Princess Road, all the way up towards Tadirua, Nangatungatu, they all feed from a pumping line out of Tamava Treatment Plant. And these pumps, they are switched on when the Tamava reaches a safe operating level, because these pumps are not off-the-shelf items, so they are safe operating level that they can operate with. At a certain point we will have to switch them off or run the risk of permanently damaging these pumps. So once we get to safe operating level, these pumps will be then switched on for services to be restored for those living in the Upper Tamava system. Yes, currently we have engaged a total of 40 water cutting trucks. We're looking for additional water cutting trucks that's available out there for us to access, so we can meet the demand for water from our affected customers. The issue in Tamavoa keeps happening because turbidity is a result of some activity that's happened upstream of our raw water intakes. And the solution to this is a two-phase solution that has been alluded to by the Honourable Minister. One of them is the Sawani to Doloisuva project, which has been tendered and currently going through the approval process. What this would effectively do is rezone the Upper Tamavoa system under the Viria water supply feed zone, and also the upgrading of the Tamavoa water treatment plant, which also is being financed by the government of Fiji to upgrade the treatment capacity at Tamavoa. Tamavoa water treatment plant is a 60 megaliter a day water treatment plant, but because of the increase in demand, we're currently processing around 75 million liters of water. So we are operating the Tamavoa treatment plant at around 115%. So any changes in the raw water quality, it actually impacts the ability of the treatment plant, being at a lower rating, to effectively treat water. And the reason why we reduce inflow is because there's also Fiji National Drinking Water Quality Standards that we have to abide by. There are certain things that we are allowed to do, and there are certain standards that we are supposed to meet each and every time we provide water out there. If we do not meet these standards, we run the risk of making people sick. That is why you would see that we would reduce inflow into Tamavoa as the water quality deteriorates. If the water pressure is low, please call in to let us know, and we'd be able to inform you of when pressures would be able to get normalized for your area. If the system is operating normally, then we normally would carry out flushing to improve pressures in terms of supply to customers' households. Vinaka, so with respect to the updates on water supply issues, we have multiple forms of informing our customers. First, it's through our social media accounts on Facebook, Twitter, as well as on Instagram. We also actively engage with our media partners who are out there, either through the radio, TV, as well as we have a newly established Viber chat group. If you can, please register for that, where we push. That's where we push a lot of our disruption notices as well.